well. I've noticed my team and I over the past few years, we work harder in making sure that our communities have good staff and we know who the staff is. But sometimes a community could be bought by another company and now it's no longer ABC community. That was our favorite one. And now overnight it's XYZ and we don't think we like them. So there's that going on. But that's not unusual in senior living that there is quite a bit of turnover. Welcome to Aging in Style with Lori Williams, the podcast all about finding the silver lining no matter what life throws your way. I'm Lori Williams, an award-winning senior living expert, author, educator, and caregiver to my husband, Mark. Join me as I share insights, tips, and personal stories to help you navigate the world of senior housing, discover ways to pay for care, advocate for your loved ones, and most importantly, learn how to thrive, not just survive, as you age. Hi, welcome to Aging in Style. This podcast was actually inspired because of a Facebook post I saw last night on a community group page for my local town. So a lady had posted on this group looking for help because she was unhappy it was either assisted living or memory care. She was kind of vague about where her mother was, but she was unhappy. And she said it was very, 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 very bad. Those were her words. And she needed help. And so, of course, in my community, people always tag me because they know I'm the local expert. And so I reached out to her and she's like, no, I don't want to use a placement service. I don't want your assistance. And okay, that's absolutely fine. But I feel like that was to her detriment because she started getting advice from just, people out in the community trying to be helpful. And they were things like, oh, you need to talk to someone to find out about Medicare or Medicaid, which, has nothing to do with anything. And then people suggesting different communities. And it just became this free for all kind of thing. So I know she did not get the assistance that she truly needed. And I found it rather sad that she did not want to have an expert, which our service is completely free. I kind of don't understand why she didn't want the help, but she did not. But what I would have said if she would have had a conversation with me is, what has happened in the community where she is? What is making you not happy about it? Is there something that, could be fixed in the situation? If you've had someone living in a community for 5 years, that's a long time. That's, you had to have been happy for a good part of that time, I would think. So that just made me think last night as I was trying to sleep, this would be a great podcast. And it's what to do when you're not happy with the senior living community you have chosen. And I would think this probably would apply mostly to assisted living and memory care. But I thought of 5 tips, so we're going to roll through those right now. So here are my 5 practical tips. Tip number 1, trust your gut, but gather all the facts. Maybe you're noticing that your mom or dad or whoever your loved one is who's in the community, they seem withdrawn or you don't feel that they're being properly cared for. Now, if something has changed, if they always were clean, their hair combed, and now you're going in there and they're in dirty clothes, definitely there could be something going on with the caregiver and it's time to have a conversation. Trust your instinct. So you need to document what you see. Could it have been a change in staffing? Or if your mom or dad has dementia, are they not wanting the care? Are they fighting the care? Is there something going on? Has something changed either with them or with the staff? Write down things. Just, be alert and kind of watch for things. Write down dates, names, specific concerns. If there's a specific caregiver, and I find this with people all the time, there's a night caregiver that they absolutely love and they love when she's on duty, but maybe don't like the other ones as much because people are human. They're human beings. They have different personalities and things that make us love them or not love them so much about them. So, there's some that you're going to really click with and some that you're not. But, you just want all of the details to help you figure out, is this a problem that we can't solve and it's time to move? or is it something that we can solve together? And my advice is, especially with memory care, to not move unless you absolutely have to. I feel like it's wise to make a very, very good decision the first time you move someone to memory care. And granted, some things can change within the community, which makes you have to move them again. But if at all possible, I think it's very important to keep them in their environment, in their routine. It's just so much easier on them. Tip number 2, communicate with the leadership of the community. So you've gathered your facts, you see kind of what you think the problem is, or you're not happy with, maybe you've paid extra to have extra showering or something, and that's not happening. You've gone ahead, you've documented everything you see, you can show that there is a problem and something that you're not happy about. So reach out to the executive director, that is the top dog of the community, or the wellness director or nurse, and a lot of times the wellness director is the nurse, but be very honest with what your concerns are, but keep it professional. Try to keep it from a lot of anger, just try to be professional, present your case, bring your list of concerns, ask for a care plan meeting, a quality, good community. They want to fix the problem. They want you to stay there. They want you to be happy. And it doesn't look good on them either if there's a lot of turnover going on. So, you deserve transparency, and you deserve for them to want to work with you and come up with a solution to make sure the care that you are paying for, you are receiving. Tip number 3, visit at different times. So try stopping by at different hours. So early morning, evenings, weekends, different times, because there's different caregivers on different shifts. So you want to see what things are like in the evening, or what things are like, mid-afternoon. Sometimes, when what looks great on a scheduled tour is different, because obviously when you're touring a community, you're seeing the very best, right? The salesperson, they want you to move there. And don't kill me, salespeople, for throwing this out there. But I mean, that's their job, right? They want to show you the community in the very best light possible, which I totally get. But you have that choice, to go and take a look at different hours, especially if it's memory care, where you need to be sure there's going to be a consistency of care and staff engagement. That really, truly matters for our family members with dementia who perhaps can't communicate to us what is going on. I also want to mention here, kind of goes with all of these tips, in senior living, I feel that it's getting better, but especially during COVID and after COVID, there was a lot of turnover. It was very hard to get caregivers, and it still is a struggle to get good caregivers. And, honestly, that is the hardest job, is to be a caregiver. I mean, I am one for my husband. I can't imagine being a caregiver for other people. And it really, it's not, I've said this before, it's not a job like you're flipping burgers, right? These are people, these are humans, real people that you're taking care of. So I think caregivers, to be a good caregiver, you have to have it in your heart to really love these people and want to show them, respect and care for them as they should be cared for. So it's hard to find those people. There are some incredible caregivers out there, incredible personalities that, are able to do this. So it is the hardest job, but it's hard to find them, and it's hard to keep people. And so not only that, you have, staff turnover with caregivers, but there's been a lot of staff turnover with executive directors and salespeople and nurses. And I had one community that pretty much everyone just left. So that makes it really, really hard. And, it makes it a little hard on my job as well. I've noticed my team and I over the past few years, we work harder in making sure that our communities have good staff, and we know who the staff is. And it's, but sometimes a community could be bought by another company, and now it's no longer ABC community. That was our favorite one. And now overnight it's XYZ, and we don't think we like them. So there's that going on. So, and the example, which I started with, the lady who moved in her mom had been in a place for 5 years and now she's very, very unhappy with it. Those are the questions I would have asked her. Hey, so were they bought out? Did the staff change? What has happened? Because surely in 5 years, something has happened. And if she's become this unhappy, something significant has happened. But that's not unusual in senior living, that there is quite a bit of turnover. Okay, tip number 4 that I have for you is talk to other families. Just chat with other families there if they're there visiting, if you can. Are they seeing the same things that you're seeing? Now, you don't want to start like a big, riot or something, but you want to know, is it just me that is noticing maybe mom's clothes are never clean, or she's been left in the same Depends all day long? Just see if they're having some of the same struggles. If their experiences maybe confirm the concerns that you have, or maybe they have a totally different perspective on it. So either way, it can just be very helpful and comforting to know that you're not alone. And then maybe, if there is a problem that several people are experiencing, then definitely everyone needs to go and talk to the executive director and the wellness director and kind of figure out what's happening. And then tip number 5. Know when it's time to make a change. So sometimes you do everything right and things still change. And like I said, the staff turnover happens. Communities are bought and sold all the time. The assisted living or memory care you moved into a year ago may not be the same that it is today. So if your gut and all the facts that tell you that this is just not working, this is not the right place to be, then it might be time to explore other options. And if it is time to explore other options, I would say, please don't take to Facebook and just randomly ask people. I mean, you can, but you're going to get so many crazy, like all over the place advice from people who, maybe you're looking for memory care and they're throwing, hey, go to the senior apartment's the best one ever. So to me, it's kind of the same, like when you Google, you're going to get a lot of information, but is it really the right place? And it's going to add a little more, stress and be a little more time consuming. So that's where a senior placement service comes in. And this is exactly why my placement service exists. And we are local because, and we believe in being local and being in the community so that we hear everything that's going on. We know which community has recently been sold or who had a staff walkout or whatever it may be. So, we're staying on top of that. And also with the senior placement service, we all do our best to stay in the know so that we can be sure to match your loved one with the community that's the best fit for their needs, best fit for their budget, and for their personality. But here is the 100% honest truth. We can't guarantee that a community won't change over time. And I think that's really important that you hear that. No one can make you that guarantee that the wonderful executive director that, you moved into the community because you just thought this director is fantastic or the activities person was fantastic. Nobody can make you a promise that they're not going to leave. Nobody can make you a promise that this community that you absolutely loved is now sold to another company and everything is changing. What we can do as a placement service is we can promise to walk you through it all. And if things aren't working, we're here to reevaluate, see if there's a way to stay where you are. Or if it's not, we can guide you to other choices and help you with that without adding more stress and confusion. So our goal is to make sure your loved one is safe, well cared for, and as happy as possible, and that you feel supported every step of the way. So that's why we work really hard. And sometimes people fall through the cracks, they forget about us or whatever, but we work really hard to try to maintain communication, which I think probably most senior placement services do, to stay in good communication with the families that we have served over the years. But sometimes, maybe an email gets blocked or it goes to spam and then you forget who the person was that was helping you and you don't come back to them. But, if that happens, then find another local senior placement service. You need that guidance and that help to keep you from the stress and, being completely overwhelmed trying to do this on your own. So taking care of a loved one, being an advocate, it all comes with a lot of decisions and a lot of stress. I totally get it. And sometimes you don't get it right the first time, and that's okay. Maybe you picked a community, you thought it was going to work out, and for whatever reason, it's not the right fit. It happens sometimes. What matters is that you are paying attention and you're advocating for your loved one. So you're doing better than you think. So don't beat yourself up if, you move mom into a memory care and it's just not working. It happens sometimes. But if you're facing this situation and you don't know what to do next, please reach out to a placement service. You don't have to do this alone. And my service is Lori Williams Senior Services. We cover the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We're here to guide you every step of the way. So whether you're looking for assisted living, memory care, just need someone to talk you through all the options and help you make a plan, we're here for you. And our service is free, completely free to families. And my whole team and I, we're just passionate about doing the right thing and making sure that you have a plan. So you can always find us on my website. And on my website also are all of the podcasts. So you can go back and listen to all of them. You can spend several days listening, I think. But it's LoriWilliams-seniorservices.com. So please follow us, share this podcast with your friends and family, neighbors, whoever. Just share it and go onto our podcast and follow us so that you get our updates every Friday and join our mailing list too. You can do that on our website. And again, that's LoriWilliams-seniorservices.com. So thank you so much for listening, and be sure to join us next week. Thanks. Bye-bye.